Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Russell Does Stuff. This is my YouTube channel. I work Mondays for 6 hours. I work Tuesdays for 6 hours, and when I don't finish up on those 2 days, I'll finish up on Wednesday. This video is going to be about reality, and the reality that me and some of you as a business owner will face at some particular point or time in your business. I have had an account for about 8 years, and I purchased that account. I bought that account with good old-fashioned money that I earned from taking care of other accounts. I took that money and invested it into another account, which for the last 8 years has paid me very well. There's been some bumps in the road with that account. We had a hurricane and the facility was closed down for a year or so, and I was asked to reduce my rates or take a leave of absence, which I eventually did. After they got the facility to where people could get on the property and start doing work, they asked me back. The property had gone through an ownership change at this time, and the new owner wanted to get estimates for the property maintenance. So I had an ace in my sleeve. The second maintenance director that came on board liked me, and even though we're not friends, you don't have friends at work, for one. None of these people at my accounts are my friend, but we have what you call a working relationship. All right, and there's trust. He counts on me to do what I'm supposed to do, and I count on him to be who he is. Okay, so he wanted me back. They had him go out and get estimates, and he wanted a new estimate for me. So my heart wasn't in working at this facility anymore. So I put together an estimate to where I made some money and then made some more money. And I was still under the price of the other estimates that they had gotten, which I found out about months or so later that I came in lower. I don't know exactly what those estimates were, but I came in lower. And I said, all right. They accepted my new estimate, and I went back to work for them. And this property pays very well. If you learn how to manage a property, you can get in and get out, and that's where you make your money. And then you can go do something else, go work for someone else, go home and work on your projects, go on trips, whatever you want to do. Get your account done, and then go do something else. And here comes the rub with that. The reality in business is you can never predict the future, okay? So always be prepared for the environment where you're working to change. Be prepared. You may have a health issue or something where you're unable to run or do the business's required needs, whether it's like me. I'm an owner-operator. So if I can't do the operating, I need to fall back on somebody, and I don't have an operator that I can fall back on to. So what I'm trying to say is this. The reality is on your end, things can change, and then on your customer's end, things can change. We get fired a lot, and we get hired a lot. So we got a new administrator that they hired who came on board and replaced, and this is all confusing because this place has a lot of administrators, who replaced another administrator they hired after the hurricane. I built a relationship with him. I took care of all his requests, helped him with ideas, projects, managed things, performed, built trust and stuff with him, built a relationship with him. He vanishes into thin air. I had no idea he was gone. It was probably 3 months when I found out that he had moved on or was fired or whatever, and they hired a new guy. Now, this new guy they hired was not like any of the past administrators that I had to work for. This guy was different. He was hubris. He was a bunch of other big, long words that I have a hard time pronouncing. He came in and started causing problems with everybody. And he started targeting certain departments and wanting to fire people and hire people. And I'm on the outside of the building, so I don't have any interaction with any of the administrators. So the administrators in the past, they would come out once in a while and say hi and ask me to do something, and I would take care of their requests. This guy, I think, spent more time on the outside of the building than he did on the inside of the building. He got it in his mind that he wanted to replace me with a whole new crew. I found out about it through some of the other employees and the maintenance manager at this facility. And the maintenance manager at this facility wasn't going to have it. So he got together with some of the other employees and drafted up an email and asked me to detail what I do at the facility, what I charge, how I get paid, etc. And he sent that to all the corporate people. So he was fighting for my job, and I appreciate that. This guy could have cared two beep beeps if I had 8 kids in diapers living at my house. I just got out of the hospital and I couldn't pay my bills. This guy couldn't have cared less if I had just started this business and that I needed money. He could have cared less that I had worked there for 8 years. He could have cared less that I was still doing a good job or not. He wanted to replace me with his own people. Now, the reality of this is you're going to come across that all the time. When I worked at banks, somebody's going to know somebody and they're going to want to give that job to their friends. It's called being pushed out, okay? I was going to get pushed out of an account that I had had for a long time. And this money that I get, I have plans for, okay? I use this money to make things happen in my life, all right? Unlike other folks, I was totally prepared for this day to happen. I had savings. I had other accounts. I was going to be fine. I was going to pivot and just keep on going. I was going to have a good attitude, etc. about the whole situation. Well, he couldn't fire me because of the email that was sent by the maintenance manager. So I'm working there not knowing if I'm going to get canned or not, but I kept my mouth shut. I kept doing a good job. I kept making the account better each time I was there. Like this morning when I did this account, last week's work helped me make this week's work easier and better. Well, I found out that not only do I get to keep my job, keep this account, but they fired that administrator. Now, a funny story. One morning I was out front working. It was 7 o'clock or 7:30. I was up with the chickens. Had my headset on, had my face gear on, and I'm concentrating on what I'm doing because I'm working around a bunch of cars, and I don't want to spread debris and rocks and stuff on the vehicles while I'm taking care of some of the string trimming in the parking lot. He was standing behind me trying to get my attention, and he started yelling, "Hey, hey," real loud, and got real close to me, and he startled me. I jumped out of my skin a little bit because I'm used to having the place to myself. I'm not used to anybody ever approaching me unless they're asking me for a cigarette or a job. And I shut the weed eater off. I took my headset off, and I said, "Hey, I was nice. How are you doing? What's up?" He had a question about a manhole cover or something out in one of the fields. I did the best I could to answer his question. I said that has always been an issue, and in the past, the administrators that were here before you were trying to address that situation and figure out what to do with the manhole cover that would flip up if you stepped on it. And I fell in that manhole cover once. I was working and not paying attention, and I fell up to my waist in that hole. So I told him that, well, we have a lot of administrators. They come and go, and sometimes what the last one's goals were are not the new one's goals, or they're busy and pulled this way and that way. And he kind of looked at me funny. I was giving him some truth that, hey, you might not be around long yourself. I didn't ask him about why he was trying to fire me or none of that. I didn't go into any of that with him. I answered his questions. I shocked him a little bit, and I got back to work. So he got fired, and I still work there. Do I want to call him and do I want to gloat or, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to keep doing what Russell does. I'm going to keep showing up like I always do. I'm going to keep working hard for this place. I'm going to keep getting paid 3 months late. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. And I'm going to do the things that my dad and some of the mentors I had around me that they showed me, which is work hard, listen, keep your mouth shut, and never give up. So let this be a lesson to people out there who are watching. You never know when you're going to lose something that you're counting on, okay? And this was what I considered a diamond in my business portfolio. Brings in a lot of side work, and it brings in a nice chunk of mailbox money. So, proper planning, poor performance, pick one, okay? I'm lucky I didn't get fired from this place, and I'm lucky he's the one that got fired. So, we have a new administrator right now who's familiar with me. She's been there many years, and things are going to go back to normal now. I'm not going to worry about getting fired all the time anymore. So I appreciate everyone stopping by and checking out this video. If you like this kind of stuff, hit the like button and subscribe if you want. The robots and algorithm would appreciate it, and so would I. So this is Russell with Russell Does Stuff, and we'll catch you on the next one.